Hi guys, so I'm going to review on Bourjois Brow Perfection Foundation. Smooth, beautiful complexion for 16 hours. The Youth Extension Foundation. I don't know if you can see that. The retail price is £10.99 and it's kind of medium price, and I got it 3 for 2, so it's better value for your money. So I found this foundation I've got it on right now. I found it kind of full coverage, but I found it kind of it's a bit dry. So if you've got normal to oily skin, it'd be really good for you. We'll have kind of dry skin around here and around my nose, and I found it kind of stuck and looked a bit flaky and a bit odd. And also, I like to set my foundation with powder, and I use the bourjois Desilis de Soleil fan, kind of like that. And it's got the two colours. That one's more like a bronzer, so you use it in the contour area, and that's more as a skin colour that you can use all over your face. And I found that I did like this foundation, and I liked the brush or the sponge that came with it. So some people might think it's a bit unhygienic, but I found it kind of smoothed it on well, and it went on really even. It's quick and using my hands, and it didn't get everywhere, so I found that quite easy. But it does kind of go a bit grubby around the top, so you need to keep it clean. And I might wash this and see if it looks any better, because it's now like orange. But I found the colour range wasn't very good, that they were yellow toned, so if you've got naturally yellowy toned skin, then it might look a bit odd. But I found that because my skin's quite red, that it counteracted the red and made it look a bit more flawless. And I do like the foundation, and I think for the price it's quite good, because I only have to use one pump, and you get quite a lot for your money. And it is 200 milliliters, so it's kind of average price for foundation. So I found it quite good, and smells really, really nice. And I think that's my favourite thing about the Bourjois products. They smell really lovely. This one smells like chocolate and vanilla, and I found that was I have really sensitive skin, so I find putting perfume products on my face a bit worrying, because I find that I'm worried that my skin's gonna go dry and it's gonna irritate my skin, because I found perfume products normally irritate my skin. These are quite sensitive, so they're good for anyone who fancies some foundation that smells nice. That's the word. Because I find some foundations kind of smell like sun cream, and I don't really like that smell. It smells a bit, I don't know, it just doesn't really smell very nice on your skin, and I find something that smells nice on your skin, so it's kind of more of a comforty feeling. But yeah. And I normally use the Deceli bronzing powder, and I have it in what colour is it? 52. Um, and it's that kind of colour. So it's a darker one, but I found that because it's quite pigmented, it's more of like it's got slight glowing, but not much that you can tell on your skin. It just gives kind of more of a healthier glow. And I think because I'm so pale, that I find that putting blush on my cheeks just makes me look more pale, because it makes me look rosy cheeks, and this kind of gives more of a tinted summery look. And this is quite good because you have the slidey bit, and you can mix it. So if you want an all over kind of more tinted summery look, then you can just add a bit of the bronzing powder into your mineral foundation, buff it into your skin. It kind of gives more of a summery look. And I like how it's quite silky and light, so it doesn't feel heavy on your skin. And I find some people who wear powder, it looks quite cakey, and this looks more natural, and it gives more of a matte finish, because I have quite dry skin, but I like to have like more of a dewy foundation that gives more of a like a creamy finish. You know, like put powder on top to make it look a bit more matte, but not as much that my face has no shine or whatever to it, because I think it looks a bit like plastic. And personally, I don't like that look, but anyone who does would like something with a bit more of a very matte finish to it. I just use this brush to buff it all into my skin, because I find that when you're using the foundation, it needs to kind of go on evenly. And I also use the Real Technique stippling brush. It's dirty, sorry, but I find that using that to just kind of go around in circular motions gives more of a finish. And I start to find that my face is quite more red than my actual skin tone, so I prefer having more of a flawless finish, and I kind of bring it down to that here. And I just find that I like the products because in Boots at the moment they're on 3 for 2, so it's better value for money. And they have a new bronzer that's in a new brown plastic packaging, which is nicer than this because this is just cardboard, and it feels quite cheap, but the actual product inside is really, really nice. But I found that this one, this one has more of a matte finish, so the bronzer didn't have any like glitter in it, so I found using that for your contour area and then dusting just a slight bit of this powder with the glitter in, that's kind of nice because it gives you more of a I don't know what the word is, more of a glowy finish. And I just found that I do like products, but I found if you've got dry skin, and I put moisturiser on before I put a foundation on, and I found that that's a bit better, but still once the moisturiser sunk in, it sticks to the dry bit. So that you can see, but like here and here and here, it kind of stuck. It made it look a bit flaky, and normally foundations don't make me look like I've got dry skin. And I kind of found that I didn't really like the look as much, but I found the foundation I just used on my cheeks, my chin, and on my nose, and on my eyelids, and here, and avoid this section here, so that it doesn't look flaky. It's not my favourite foundation, but I think it's definitely one of the ones I do like because I like the smell and I like the colour, but I think it's the finish, it's a bit dry, and I found that I wanted something a bit more natural looking with a healthier glow, so that it gave me more of the kind of natural look. And because I'm quite fresh, because you can't tell in here, but I am actually really freckly, and I found that if I have foundations that are too thick and they go on, I kind of it looks like I've got a lot of makeup on because you can't see any freckles. And anyone who's seen me normally in everyday life knows that I'm really freckly, so if I have lots of foundation on and it covers them all up, I do look a bit plastic and it doesn't look very natural, and it's not really the look I'm going for. So I'd rate this about 3.5 out of 5. It's not my favourite, it's not my worst. Definitely medium range. The colour range isn't very good, they're all slightly yellow toned, and I found that this is a good match for my skin because it's quite pale. But it wasn't, it's colour shade 51. I'm not sure if it's the palest one they do. I think it's definitely one of the palest. But I found that they have the colour range really suits my skin, but I found someone else might have a bit of a problem because I know a lot of people have complained about the colour range because it's not very good. But this is one of their, I think it's one of their older foundations because they brought out, I think it's Healthy Mix. That, and I was going to try that, but I found the bottles were quite. I like the look of the sponge and how the smell and the fact that it just looked a bit more suitable for me. So I found that easier. And yeah, bourjois is definitely one of my favourite makeup brands because it's really affordable. And I've tried different ranges of foundations and more expensive makeup, cheaper makeup. And I find if I don't think more expensive is not always better because I found some foundations that are more expensive don't really like cater for more of a natural everyday look. They look a bit. I don't want to look like I'm going on a night out when I'm just casually going to college or going just out with my friends, because I don't want that overly done look. Kind of like a bit more natural and more realistic, because my skin's not perfect and I don't want to look extremely flawless like every day. And I know some people do like that kind of look, but I think it looks better when I'm going out for a night out. I want to look like I've made an effort, rather than some people just kind of, if they look that out every day, you might not notice the difference. But I find this is a really nice everyday foundation. It's quick and easy to put on because the brush sponges just glides over your skin nicely. And I find that if I'm out on the go, applying foundation is a bit messy because you have to put it on your hands, and then you've got to wash your hands, and then you've got foundation everywhere, and it's just not really very easy. But I found sometimes when I go out, I don't really need to touch up as much, because I'll just use this and I'll just pop some into the lid, dust my brush in, and dust it all over my face. And I find that just kind of gives me a bit more extra coverage when I need it, really. So I definitely think it's good value for money getting, especially while it's on 3 for 2 at the moment, because I find that makeup, buying it in bulk is quite, when it's full price, is quite expensive, but buying it 3 for 2 means you get something for free, obviously. But I think that's just fair value for money, because I also got the Volume Glamour Max Definition Volume Glamour Max mascara, and I think that's the summer section, but I've got it on now. I don't know if you can tell, but I found it quite nice. Gave quite more volumey look, and I find that one coat doesn't really do much. You have to keep going over it. But I also find that that eye look goes on nicer, and then I don't know why. I think some people just have some eyelashes look nicer than the other, because I find that this eye looks a bit like clumpier. But I don't know if it's how I put it on each eye, or I just like this because I don't really change my mascara much, because I find it lasts me quite a long time. But I do like to change my foundation a lot, because I want different looks, and definitely my skin tone kind of changes a lot. Like when my skin is better, I want a lower coverage foundation, which I'll probably use quite often. I'll just mix foundation with my moisturiser and put it on like that. Or if I've got like, because I have go through stages where I'm not normally quite spotty, but then I go through a stage where my skin's quite bad, or I'm quite run down. It like if I'm stressed, or and I get quite bad skin and need like quite coverage. But I like this because it's kind of medium coverage to start off with. If I want to go up, I just put another layer on, and then it looks full coverage. And I think it's definitely a nice kind of, it's an investment to buy. It all depends on personal preference, and I've got to look. It's all about personal preference, and I hope this was helpful. It's my first YouTube video that's actually got me in it, because I did one about all the photos I took when I went to Liverpool, because I'm a textile student, and we went on a trip to Liverpool galleries, and it was all modern art, and I found that I did like the modern art, but some pieces were a bit, well, they just looked a bit ununique. They weren't very, it's like, some of them were just, you didn't really consider art, but it depends on your own personal preference. Like there was one that I thought was really cool, and it was a glass cabinet with loads of slices of bread in, and someone that was obviously like taking out bits of bread to look like there was a person lying in it. And I found that quite cool, but some people didn't really like it, but I found it quite cool. And there was one, it was, I can't think which one it was. Oh, in Liverpool, they've got out on the front by the harbour, I think the harbour, it's got like chains across the front, and people put locks on with their dates if they're going to have a boyfriend or girlfriend, and they lock it on, and it's like a memory, and I thought that was really, really cute. and I just thought it was a nice idea. And I do like Liverpool, and I like the gallery, and so I found a bit weird on this video. Got a bit of hay fever, and the weather's medium outside, kind of not cold, but not really that warm, so I feel a bit groggy. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope it's helpful, and I hope I didn't sound too terrible, or I didn't make too many mistakes, but yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.